So let's talk about application lifecycle management in this tutorial. Application lifecycle management refers to the process of managing a software application from its inception till its retirement. That is, a software idea comes to place and then you start developing the product, you gather requirements, then the design is made, then the development is done, then the testing is done, then the deployment on the customer side. And after some years, then the software is retired and the next version comes in. So this whole process is what you call an application lifecycle management. It encompasses the entire lifespan of the application, including development, deployment, maintenance, and eventual retirement. So some of the main points about application lifecycle management includes requirements management and development. Requirements management means gathering, documenting, and managing the requirements of the software application. This involves understanding the needs of the stakeholders and translating them into specific features and functionalities. That is, you have the initial phase is always requirements management. That is, you get inputs from the stakeholders or the customer, write it down in text, and then formulate it in a way that the developers can take it and develop software. So this involves understanding what the stakeholders need there, and a bit of technology also you need to understand, so that you know how it's possible to implement or not. And then you translate this into a specific features and functionalities so that this is taken care by the developers. Then the next is the development is the actual creation of the software application itself, which involves coding, testing, debugging. And this phase may involve collaboration amongst developers, quality assurance teams, and other stakeholders. So this is development process means you start developing the software. That is, you start coding and then testing and debugging. And this phase is called development phase. And you will have also quality assurance here to ensure that the quality standards are met. So version control, managing changes of the software code base or time tracking revisions, ensuring that all the team members are working with the latest version of the code. Version control systems like Git and Subversion. Subversion was used previously, but Git is now quite modern and it's used in many companies, are commonly used for you. Version control means you write a software or you write a document and then you version it. That is, you have a software code, you version it 1.0, then the next change you make it 2.0, and that like goes on like that. To do this, there are certain tools you use, and this version control is important so that you have all the previous software also if something goes wrong in your changes. And also multiple people might be working on the same piece of software, same piece of code, and to manage that, no other people can change the software at the same time to corrupt the code. So we need the version control. Then build and release management is automating the process of building, testing, deploying the software application. This includes setting up continuous integration or continuous delivery pipelines to streamline the delivery updates of the new features. So build and release management means once you've done the software, it has to be deployed, it has to be released to the customer. So before that, you build it, and there are systems which does the automatic compilation and generation of the executable. And this is what you call continuous integration, continuous delivery. Quality assurance ensures that the software application meets specified requirements and functions correctly. This involves various testing activities such as unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and user acceptance testing. And quality is important gateway for delivering a good software which is acceptable to the customer and meets the specified requirements. So unit testing is basically you test the software code itself. You write opposite of the source code. You give some positive and negative values if you are using a function or a code. System testing, you generally do a system testing around the whole different components. And user acceptance testing is something where you test the software or the application so that the user can accept it. That is, you check if the requirements are all met in that specific software. So you write tests if the requirements are met. So this is a user acceptance test. Then you have deployment, deploying the software application to production environments or target platforms. This may involve configuration management, provisioning of resources, and coordination of operating teams. So deployment is you take the software or the application and give it to the customer or put it in the place where the customer can use it. So that's what is mean. And you will have different configuration and provisioning of resources systems for setting the whole thing up for the customer side. So monitoring and maintenance, monitoring the performance and usage of the application in production, addressing any issues of bugs and applying patches or updates. So maintenance activities are also include adding new features and optimizing the performance and ensuring compliance with the security standards. So monitoring maintenance means, so once you deploy the software, you watch for if there's any faults occurring, if there's any bugs in the software or the system, and then try to create patches or updates so that these bugs are fixed. And these maintenance activities also include new features, optimizing performance. So you can also add new features which can be added and optimizing the performance and ensuring the compliance with the security standards. Retirement decommissioning is planning for eventual retirement decommissioning of the software application when it reaches the end of the life cycle. This may involve migrating data to the new system, archiving code and documentation, and communicating with stakeholders. So here you plan the retirement of the system. That is, you take out a system and bring a new system or a new version of software. So this is what is done here. Effective application lifecycle management practices help organizations to streamline the development process, improve collaboration amongst the teams, and ensure quality, reliability of the software applications and maximize the value. So that is, any software has to be managed properly. Any new software or new versions which is coming in should be managed properly so that the existing workflow is not affected, and the people who might be thousands of users might be using a specific software, and if you want to roll out a new version or a new update or a new software, you should do it in such a way that it doesn't affect the users and create a loss or loss of time or cost for the. So effective ALM practices are key for any organization.